The scene opens with a girl named Jessie walking into the cave where many evil spirits pass by her. In the cave, she sees many human corpses and then a bird-like creature grabs her throat. She wakes up screaming. B, her elder sister, calms her and explains to her that it is just a nightmare. These two sisters live in London with their two friends Billy and Spike, and B notices that they both are not in the house. She quickly goes out to find them, while Billy and Spike are in the arena. Billy wants to fight for the money and he goes into the ring, but then B reaches there before the fight. Leopold, a boy from a royal family, receives his birthday presents and asks his employee Daimler to tell his mother that I want to go out today. Jessie again gets visions of the same creature and stands between the road. Luckily B comes and saves her before she gets under the horse cart. Daimler comes and scolds them, but B, you are going too fast, it's not her mistake. Leo sees B arguing with Daimler and smiles, and B becomes angry and asks them to leave. B goes to the graveyard where she meets with Sister Anna and tells Jessie has exactly the same dreams as her mother. Sister Anna says you're making the wrong connections, what happened to your mum isn't gonna happen with Jessie. Then a man starts following B and stops her in the street. B quickly takes out the knife, but the man asks her to calm down. His name is Dr. Watson and he asks B he needs some information and in return, he will give her money. B agrees and they go to a hotel where Dr. Watson tells her that 4 newborn babies have been stolen and the only thing they found was a feather. When B asks why the police are not doing this, he tells her we haven't much time, so that's why I need your help. He tells her the name of the woman Susan Shipley and says to find out if she needs money and leaves. The crew finds Susan Shipley at Bayswater and B asks her to tell everything when the child was stolen. Susan tells them she mistakenly left the window open and when she came back the baby was stolen. Suddenly, hundreds of crows attack them and they all run while Billy and B hide inside the room where the crows attack Susan. After a while, when the crows fly away, they come outside and find Susan dead and her eyes were scratched by the crows. Leo dreams about B and runs out from the mansion to find her while B goes back to inform Dr. Watson about the incident. Dr. Watson ignores her and gives a file for the other missing babies. Leo finds B and introduces himself. He sees the file of missing babies in her hand and takes her to the town hall. Leo finds the address and tells them that someone is controlling the birds. When they are going to find the baby, B asks Jessie to stay home, but Jessie becomes angry and leaves with Spike. Billy, Leo, and B reach the location and Billy climbs to the room. He finds the baby, but before he can take her, the crow comes and flies away with the baby. Jessie again dreams and the bird creature grabs her throat, but before she dies somebody saves her in the dream. On the other hand, the trio finds the Birdman and asks him to leave the baby, but he attacks them with birds and escapes. Jessie meets with Lennon. He tells Jessie that the darkness has entered the city, but if you want to get rid of your dream you only have to touch the Birdman. When Jessie asks why, the man says when you touch you will get inside his mind and be able to remind him how his daughter died and how the Birdman gets these powers. When the trio finds the location of the Birdman and reaches there, the Birdman becomes angry to see them and recites the spell from which every bird comes to attack them. Soon Jessie reaches there and touches the man. The man then finds out how his daughter died. Then she touches her second time and gets inside his other memory. The man recites some verses and the powers start going inside his body. Jessie asks where did the powers came from. The man doesn't know and says sorry to them. Back in the present, the crows fly away and Leo runs back to his mansion. B goes back to Dr. Watson and gets her money, but she asks him why his sister, and Watson tells her that Jessie is gifted with powers. B tries to rob a necklace but is caught by police and put into jail. Watson comes into the police station to take her out. Outside, Watson says someone is stealing children's teeth and gives B the address of 2 victims in Balham Street. Leo joins them in their next mission and B asks him to go with Billy to interview the victims while Jessie and B go to Balham Street. Jessie sees a boy and follows him to his house where Jessie finds a woman. The woman takes Jessie inside the house to tell her about the ghost, but when Jessie tries to talk the woman breathes anesthetic gas on Jessie and she faints. The woman then tries to remove her teeth but B arrives and stops the woman. Jessie goes into his mind and sees that this woman has the same powers as Birdman. She then goes to her second memory where the woman's father commits suicide. The woman touches Jessie in anger, causing her to go into Jessie's mind, and Jessie is being beaten by his father. The woman tells Jessie that you can't forget your past, and then Jessie flashes back to the present day and tells her sister that this woman wants to avenge her father's suicide. Leo and Billy also come to the girls, and in the garden they see 2 children and their minds are hypnotized. Both children run and the crew goes to the woman. The woman tells them how Duke Winchester killed her father. When Winchester comes to speak, a young girl hypnotized by the woman aims a gun at him because the woman casts a magic spell to speak through the girl. She tells everybody how he killed his father, but Billy reaches there and saves Winchester before the girl shoots him. Then the woman disguises herself as his wife. She stabs Winchester, but Billy tries to avoid her and the woman attacks him. Jesse tells B that killing the woman is the only way out, and B kills the woman, and also all the people she hypnotized die with her death. Jesse again meets with Lennon in her dream where he tells her the barrier between our world and the dark world has been broken. When Jesse asks him how can she stop it, Lennon tells her you have to find a rip. Jesse wakes up and tells her friends we need to find Rip to close the door of the dark side. After seeing the letter from Dr. Watson about the Golden Dawn, B meets with a man named Maycroft Holmes. B asks Holmes to know everything about Watson and the Golden Dawn. Holmes says Golden Dawn is a group of people who have an interest in paranormal things. He says the Golden Dawn has their leader, but a few days ago someone killed him and hung his body like a tarot. Holmes invites B to the party where they will choose their new leader and tells B that they will pay them double and I'll tell you everything about Watson. B and all her friends go to Sherlock's mansion where Holmes introduces B and Jessie as his nieces. He then asks the two of them to keep an eye on everyone else as he suspects that someone in the party might have killed their leader. While Jessie and B are keeping an eye on them, all the members start their ritual to choose a new leader. Leo and Spike goes into Sherlock's secret room and finds a puzzle box, and then Holmes announces Gustav Falcon as their new leader. At night, their new leader is also killed, seeing which B starts running away with his friends. Then when they move forward, they see that the direction of the palace has changed. Leo tells them that dark magic is here and that someone wants to kill all the party members by imprisoning them there. The team then finds every member is murdered one by one, and they catch Holmes and find out the original killer is Patricia. Jessie follows the whispers and reaches the tower where Patricia compels her to die. She takes Jessie to the roof, asks her to hold the tower and casts a spell. Spike reaches and pulls Jessie out of the illusion, and Alan shows her to the tower when Patricia tries to shoot Spike. As soon as his hands touch the tower, she is killed by a strong lightning strike. A man brutally kills another man and removes the skin from his face. Both sisters are at their mother's grave where Leo tells them according to the novel Sherlock and Watson used their mother for the sake of her powers and murdered her. Jessie wants to talk with Watson, but B suggests first they need to find Sherlock. Later, when B and Leo are talking, they both come close to each other and share their first kiss, and Leo promises her that he'll always be with her. Jessie and B visit Watson, who give them news of another murder and tells them the killer is David and he was murdered 10 days ago. Watson tells them Sheriff Lestrade is investigating this case and wants Jessie's help. B then runs inside to find Sherlock in the room, but he isn't in the room. Then Watson warns to stay away from Sherlock, otherwise he will kill her and her friends. Spike, Billy, and Jessie go to meet with Sheriff Lestrade, where Jessie accidentally touches another man and goes inside his mind. She sees a girl sitting with 3 men in the pub, and then they took her into the room and raped her. Back in the present, the man runs and they go into the pub where Jessie saw the girl. She says to Sheriff there were 3 men, the girl using their face to kill them. They ask from the pub owner, who gives them the address of the girl's house. They reach there only to find the skin of 3 dead people. The girl arrives and Jessie asks her to stop killing, but she is angry and runs and escapes. The girl then uses Dave's face and goes to pub and kills her. Then she uses his facial skin and become a man and goes into the pub owner's house. While B tries to find Sherlock, a man gives her Dr. Watson's letter in which it was written that I don't need your help anymore and don't even try to meet me again after tomorrow. On the other hand, when Leo leaves his sister's birthday party and goes to see B, he is stopped by Daimler, but Leo jumps off the building. The girl kills the sheriff and uses his face and lies to Jessie that the girl runs inside the jungle. The trio goes to find her, but Jessie notices the sheriff's behavior is changing. Jessie aims the gun and asks to show her real face. The girl then shows her real face and Jessie touches her and goes inside his mind. When she sees that the bird-like creature gave her powers, in fear Jessie gives her gun to the girl and asks her to run away. After that, Jessie meets with Lennon and tells him she sees the same creature in the girl's memory and says the location of the gate is also in my mind. Lennon then touches, showing her the ocean, and tells her that he is coming to London. While B goes to her mother's grave and finds Sherlock lying there drunk. Back in the past, we see B's mother with Watson running away to save themselves from the people who are hypnotized. She touches one man and tells Watson they need to find Sherlock. Then we see a club where a woman starts singing and hypnotizes everyone and calls Sherlock to come on the stage. When he gets on the stage, she asks him to kill himself. Watson, Alice, and Patricia arrive and Sherlock quickly makes her unconscious. B takes Sherlock home, and when he becomes stable she asks him about her mother. Sherlock says we love each other and we're looking for a method of finding Rip. He says Alice used to have nightmares and one day we got a case and Alice tried to stop me but I didn't stop. Someone was collecting the body parts of the people and during the case, they found the gate. Alice then touches the light of the gate and the power sucked her inside and the door closed. Leo and B go to the hospital where they see people's body parts are missing. Seeing all of this, B remembers that this is the same case that Sherlock and his mother saw. The name of this case is Collector. Diamler comes to take Leo back, but he argues with him and says, I have friends here now, and if you take me back I'll never become a prince. The team finds Edith, who kidnaps Watson and steals people's body parts. Edith wants to rip Watson's heart to bring back her husband alive, but Watson and other tries to stop her, but she shouts at them. Suddenly Edith's husband reawakens and becomes angry until he kills her. B and Co runs out. Sammy, Edith's husband, then drinks Snowdonia's syrup. Daimler meets B and tells her about Leo. B goes to Leo, calls him a liar, and asks him to get out while Billy kills his workhouse teacher and police arrests him. Jessie goes to Dockyard where she sees dead bodies and meets with Lillian. Lillian asks her about the location of the gate and Jessie tells her the gate is on the site of an old plague pit. Lillian asks her weak, saying I doesn't want to close the door and send her back into the nightmare. The chaos runs into the city and people are killing each other. B, Sherlock, Watson, and another man follow Lillian in jail, where Lillian goes into the Birdman mind to see how he got his powers. Lillian then touches the glass and compels him. The Birdman again remembers his baby and starts a fight with them. When B goes to see Lillian and he touches her and leaves her in dreams and runs from there. Sherlock traps him in the cell and asks him to the location of the gate, but he compels Sherlock to open the door and escape. Leo frees Billy from prison and escapes the castle with Spike to reunite with his friends. They see Jessie, who is still in her dream, and they try to wake her up. Jessie wakes up in her nightmare. The demons tries to stop her, but she tells them that I am not afraid of them anymore and kills all these demons with her light. Then a man detonates a blast that opens a passage into the cave and Jessie realizes that this is the real gate. Sherlock and Lillian also find the gate, and after seeing Lillian says now he'll become a god. Lillian stands in front of the gate and gets powers, then he takes Jessie back into the dream. Jessie holds his hand, uses her power, and throws Lillian into the dark. Then, B, Watson, and Jessie reach the gate where both girls see their mom. Alice tells them she did everything to live with her girls. Watson points out that you want to change this world into purgatory, but Alice says nobody will die anymore. Jessie tries to close the door, but B is stopping her and the door starts collapsing. Sherlock asks Alice to go back and Jessie then touches the light and her mom disappears. Sherlock also touches the door and Watson tries to stop him, but the power sucks him inside. Then B and Watson pull Jessie out before she is trapped inside. The gate closes and every bad soul turns back into hell and everything becomes normal. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.